Let's take the opportunity now to actually figure out what happened. And as I was mentioning a few minutes ago, slow and steadily, but eventually processes in democracies do catch up. And you can cover up some crimes. I'm not saying you can't, but you can't cover up huge crimes like a genocide or a bioweapon forever. It's impossible. Even a Chinese state, which can control a lot of things internally, can't control everything externally, can't control each and every whistleblower. A person who gets on board a plane can also be spreading the virus, but can also be a defector. So it's impossible. Well, in the democratic systems, one person now is under a lot of scrutiny, and this person has been the face of fighting coronavirus and has gained a lot of respect for himself over the past 1 year by becoming that face of reason, of calmness, Dr. Anthony Fauci. Now, here's a problem. We all have to accept we are all human beings. And for the best amongst us also, we make mistakes. Things go wrong. And we then convince ourselves that we are doing so much good that admitting those mistakes would deprive us of the ability to do the good that we're doing. This is how all people in power eventually end up thinking. And Anthony Fauci seems to be one such individual. The feedback loop to him, which has been that you've been the saving grace during the insanity of Donald Trump, seems to have convinced him that he is infallible, that whatever he's done is touched with gold and nothing wrong could have happened. He might not have advocated for, authorized, or directly paid for the conversion of coronavirus into a bioweapon, but he was presiding over a lot of events of which it is now available through written scrutiny of emails that have now been made public, both written by him and sent by him during 2020, during the beginning part of the outbreak. And let me read out some of them that have come our way. Now, here's an email that is from the mid of March 2020. So mid of March 2020 is at the very beginning of the outbreak. At the very beginning of the outbreak, last year, this is not 2021, this is 2020, in which he receives an email, and the email is from an individual called Adam Gartner, okay? And he says, "Hello, Anthony," and he's writing out, this is how the virus was created. Intervirion fusion with an HIV strain was mixed with 1,000 nanograms of P24 of HIV GFP particles, incorporating an ASLV-A envelope. SARS-CoV-S protein or both envelopes were then held in PBS at 4 degrees for 30 minutes to allow the binding. Samples were raised to 37 degrees for 15 minutes to allow for conformational rearrangements. Virions were adjusted to the desired pH with a 0.1 m citric acid. PBS, TPCK, trypsin, which is scientific terms, were all put together. The virions were then incubated at 37 degrees C for 30 minutes to allow for membrane fusion. 100 microliters of the virion mixture was added in quadruplicate, and cells were pre-treated for 1 hour with leupeptin. The cells were spin infected and incubated then again for 5 hours. It's pretty specific, pretty detailed. Now, this is on Wednesday, the 11th of March. Anthony Fauci gets this email. Then, in April, a few weeks later, the one person who is at the center of all of this is Peter Daszak. Peter Daszak has published papers in conjointment with the professor or doctor who was running the virology experiments at the Wuhan Institute, has repeatedly visited the Wuhan Institute and was pioneering the funding that the Americans were giving to the Wuhan Institute through his own research. Now, he's the person who is then in mid-April, so early part of last year, is then trying to convince Anthony Fauci that this was not a lab leak. Now he says, "Tony, I'm CCing David so that you might pass this on to Tony once he has a spare second. As the PL of the R01 grant publicly targeted by Fox News reporters at the presidential briefing last night, I just wanted to say a personal thank you on behalf of our staff and collaborators for publicly standing up and stating that the scientific evidence supports a natural origin for COVID-19 from a bat to human spillover and not our libraries from the Wuhan Institute of Virology. From my perspective, your comments are brave and coming from your trusted voice will help dispel the myths being spun around the virus's origins. Once this pandemic's over, I look forward to thanking you in person and let you know how important your comments are to all of us. And Anthony Fauci replies, Peter, many thanks for your kind note. Then, here's another email, and this is on the 1st of February 2020, much before of this. This is by Christian Anderson, and she says, replying to Anthony Fauci, thanks for sharing. Yes, I saw this earlier today, and both Eddie and myself are actually quoted in it. It's a great article, but the problem is that our phylogenetic analysis aren't able to answer whether the sequences are unusual or individual residues, except if they are completely off. On a phylogenetic tree, the virus looks totally normal, and the close clustering with bats suggests that the bats serve as the reservoir. The unusual features of the virus make up a really small part of the genome. So one has to look really closely at all the sequences to see that some of the features potentially look engineered. We have a good team lined up to look very critically at this, so we should know much more by the end of the weekend. I should mention that after our discussions earlier today, Eddie, Bob, Mike, and myself all find the genome inconsistent with expectations from evolutionary theory. But we will have to look at this much more closely. And he replies, thanks, Christian. We'll talk to you soon. So in February 2020, the scientists that Anthony Fauci himself is working with are raising, not conclusively, because it's difficult to conclusively prove something when you have no access to the place where it happened, are suggesting that the sequence of the genome of the virus is inconsistent with evolutionary mechanisms. Now, what does that mean? Inconsistent with evolutionary mechanisms means that there has been human intervention. Otherwise, genetic engineering has happened in this virus. It doesn't tell you whether it leaked or was released, but somebody is telling you genetic engineering has taken place. The larger metadata of the virus also seems to indicate that this is genetically engineered, because viruses then within a particular environment zone, in a particular temperature zone, all these things affect viruses, which is why other viruses that have originated in China have not impacted other parts of the world equally badly. So then what does Dr. Fauci tell us for 1.5 years? The maximum he's about to say that he is not 100% sure that this is not genetically engineered. On the broadcast with me, Ambassador Deepak Vora, Preeti Upala, Dr. Venkatesh Rao, and Professor Nalapat. Dr. Rao, should a person who is the voice, a global voice in the free world of democracies, who we've all looked up to in telling us what to do with coronavirus, have also told us that several of his colleagues had raised concerns as far back as February last year, within days of the genome being produced. So within days of the genome being released, had indicated that this might not be evolutionary. Should we have been told this in February last year?
Rishabh, yes. That is the short answer to your question. On 31st of January of last year, the Delhi researchers I have been referring to in 2 of my articles in Sunday Guardian had put up a preprint article on the web, and the very next day, Dr. Christian Scripps of the Christian Anderson of the Scripps Research Institute in US, California, had emailed. You will see one of the emails to Fauci.
Yeah, which I've just read out.
Yes. No, I don't think you read out the Dr. Christian Scripps research.
No, Christian Anderson's email, I just read out in totality. But anyway, please make your point.
So that is within hours of these people putting up the entire structure, studied it. They have shown 4 segments which are from the HIV virus. It is not from any other coronavirus. And as I mentioned in my article, the AIDS virus is a retrovirus. Okay, it's an RNA, but it's a retro RNA virus. So it has to change to DNA and then only produce more RNAs. And we don't have any study anywhere in the world which says naturally a retrovirus can transfer its material to a RNA virus. One. Second, in the month of January itself, there were two other publications. One by Wuhan Institute, not the Wuhan Institute, the Wuhan doctors about the cases. And there was another study done by Hong Kong doctors who visited Wuhan and published. They've all come within 1 month, in December itself, in January itself. And all of them are saying the same thing. Now, these Delhi researchers...
More honest question. Is there a vested interest that Anthony Fauci has, because he is right now considered by many as the most trusted voice on the coronavirus in the world? He has had a lot of press. He's constantly on television, constantly being interviewed on podcasts, and people trust this man. And this man is insisting that there is nothing to hide, and this was 99% not a lab leak. Should he have told us that in February others were disagreeing with him? Should he have told us yes or no?
Yes, Richard, so if I can answer that, these people, when they have published, when you publish in a scientific journal, you have to reveal who funded you. There is no need to go chasing the banks. They have themselves acknowledged that Fauci's organization, Bill Gates' organization, all these, they are listed. If you want, I will read it out to you.
Should he have told us in February last year that I have received within hours of the genome being published, there are scientists who have raised concerns which require investigation, ready investigation, in February last year? Should this have been told that some scientists have raised concerns about the genome structure of this virus not being natural?
Richard, if you have the danger of criminal liability on your head for something you have done, you think you are going to reveal?
No, the criminal liability might be now. It wasn't then. If you had told us then...
It would have been, because they have been...
10 scientists have written to me who think it's natural, but 5 have written to me who think it's engineered. I'm making information public, and these scientists should come out publicly also. So let me.
All that, just a minute. All that was engineered later on by Fauci. That is also obvious from the emails.
I'm trying to figure out, is Fauci a genuinely well-meaning, intelligent person with a strong track record who has just now got trapped into a cycle where now he can't publicly come and admit that yes, we funded it, yes, Peter Daszak was doing something wrong, yes, they engineered it, without criminally implicating himself. So I'm asking this question because he's a human being in the end. He doesn't want to criminally implicate himself. Professor Nalapat, if we assume that this man's heart was in the right intent and people were raising the red flags, he just misread them and realized, he knew that he was funding the Wuhan Lab Institute. He's not a fool to have think that there is no possibility, zero possibility of a lab leak, but he's denied it consistently throughout, and a lot of people respect this guy. So what do we do?
Dr. Fauci is obviously in a situation where his mind is functioning all right. He still, is very clear about his science, and I have been told by expert virologists. I am glad one of the most expert has spoken out and writing openly about this matter now. And they explained to me way back then that the bat virus is something called RATG13. And this virus essentially is SARS-2. The only difference being something which is called the PRRA code, which is put into the foreign cleavage site by Dr. Shi, admittedly by Dr. Shi. So frankly, they told me from the beginning, Fauci is lying. So Rishabh, either Fauci does not know any biology, any health, or any science, and he's been lying all these decades about his qualifications, or he knew and he kept quiet. And may I say one thing? What is the most disgusting in this whole thing, and I'd like to say that, is the cover-up. Any scientist who spoke up was basically warned that, look here, you are going to have your career destroyed. We are going to have, scientific journals, scientific magazines questioning not only your integrity, sometimes your sanity.
I'm trying to understand it. Was and something went wrong, okay? Whether deliberately or by omission or commission. And Fauci knows that that a part of his institute has been funding research which might have been related to what went wrong. So then what does he do? Does he come out and say, okay, fess up, and says, okay, these are the various opinions coming in. Yes, we have funded part of the research. I don't think it was doing anything malevolent, but it could have been, I don't know. Why does he then start threatening people potentially, allegedly?
Rishabh, the point is from the start, Fauci, Daszak and others were aware it was lab leak. He should not be interviewed by CNN or by NewsX or by other channels the way he's being. He should be interviewed under oath by the FBI. And I'm sorry to say, so far President Biden has not demonstrated the will to do that. I'm really surprised
that President Biden, because this was the man who was standing up to the insanity, perceived insanity of Donald Trump. So you can't go after he was the Democratic figurehead for everything against Donald Trump for a year. So now you can't take him down, or it's not going to be easy to take him down. So we understand that political necessity, but then we have to understand that this man in his own emails is getting information that is slapping you in the face and saying that this is something devastating within hours of the genome sequence coming out, and he told no one, or at least no one in the public. Ambassador Deepak Vora, do we trust Peter Daszak, who is a noted virologist, but who incidentally has a vested interest in Wuhan and was also the WHO investigator in Wuhan? Now, there is an aphorism for this, sir, an aphorism that indicates who should be investigating whom. Ambassador Deepak Vora.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gulati. Always a pleasure to be with you, learn from you, from Dr. Rao, from Professor Nalapat, and from Ms. Sopala. Thank you ever so much. As the global clamor to find out the source of the Chinese virus rises, interestingly, sir, I hope you have a debate on this, your buddy Xi Jinping has asked his wolf warriors to retreat to their lairs so that their successors can create, and I quote, a more credible, lovable, and respectable image of China.
Yeah,
he's under pressure.
Correct.
Okay, maybe they should hire a person called Rishabh Gulati to do it for them. But anyway, it's very, very interesting. So is Anthony Fauci the god who failed? What do they say about hubris? Was he a part of a conclave of knaves? One fact is clearer than daylight. Ping Pong did not generate the virus, but he did his utmost to conceal the nature of the tragedy and China's responsibility for it. Now, sir, why did Wuhan start messing around with this virus at the level that it was doing? Virologists know better than anyone else the dangers of this thing called gain of function. You know, sir, in October 2014, the US government had placed a moratorium on gain of function research, altering natural pathogens to make them more deadly because there had been accidents in American laboratories. And they were scared in the US system, this would leak out, there would be hell to pay. The president and Congress don't always agree. You've seen that during Donald Trump's time. I've seen it during Reagan's time, Nixon's time, whatever. They are on a collision course very, very often. There were accidents at the US Centers for Disease Control labs in July 2014. And these were high containment labs. So the US government in 2014 banned all federal funding for 3 viruses, attempts to weaponize them. There was influenza, the Middle East respiratory syndrome, and the severe acute respiratory syndrome.
But so let
me come to that. I'm coming right away. So where would the wannabe... So let me tell you. So where would the wannabe...
Because money finds its way to where it wants to go.
Sure. Where would the wannabe virus creators go? What did Dr. Anthony Fauci do, who was the then director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease? He outsourced it.
So what you are saying is because a person like Peter Daszak could not do that research in the US anymore because the public layer was too much. So he said, okay, you create a pet project and give it funding in Wuhan where there is no scrutiny and the Chinese are more than happy we come and do it there. I'll do this research there instead. That's what you're saying?
It's absolutely, you hit the nail on the head. And I just quote Dr. Fauci. He said it would have been almost a dereliction of our duty if we had not worked with China to study coronaviruses and collaborate with very quote-unquote respectable Chinese scientists.
That wasn't statements given to Rand Paul and of course
So he stops research at home and he starts it in China.
Okay, so we are saying, okay, as a premise, that people like Peter Daszak, supported by funders like Anthony Fauci, okay, whether wittingly or unwittingly, Peter Daszak certainly, he was doing the research himself. So him certainly wittingly, maybe Anthony Fauci did not know, believed him, my old friend Peter is an honest chap, were routing funding to Wuhan, which most likely was being misused in conjunction with the chief of the Virology Institute there, who was working with Peter Daszak. Okay, so Preeti, now let me get you into this. So just 1 second, sir. I will come back to everyone before I wind up.
Surely.
Preeti, given the stature of Anthony Fauci, now he is to the Democratic Party right now, I mean, almost Mahatma Gandhi, right? He was the face of calm and reason, because let's face it, Donald Trump was saying and doing some stupid things, that inject yourself with some disinfectant and these kind of things. And those were the logical things that we could understand. Now, here's a very specific technical thing that you and I can't understand, right? We don't know whether it is, common sense tells me don't inject yourself with disinfectant. So if Fauci comes and says that, oh, we go, why, this guy's a genius, right? But we don't understand this. If these guys are themselves the master of what we don't understand, who do we now trust?
Namaste. Thank you, Mr. Gulati, for having me on your show. Always a pleasure to be here. Wow. What a bind we are in, because we're not virologists or doctors or scientists. It's such a shame. To be honest, even the best virologists are trying to crack their heads, because even if this really is a big scandal or a conspiracy, then even they can't figure out, what happened. And they don't think, they're not conspiracy theorists. They're people of science, right? So they want to actually believe that all of this is happening. I think Dr. Fauci is between a rock and a hard place, because everything is now getting exposed. And I'm not so sure that the Democratic Party, who up until now have been totally shielding him and backing him, I don't know how much further they can continue to do this. At some point they do have to take a stand. And I've been told that there will be some congressional hearings coming up very shortly. And I'm sure the GOP is going to push for this. And the DNC has to cooperate with them, or else it's just going to be too dodgy. And there has to be a bipartisan support for a proper investigation.
Is there going to be an inquisition into Anthony Fauci? Can Biden do it?
I mean, it's legally very possible. He should do it. I think, hey, if Dr. Fauci has nothing to hide and the CDC has nothing to hide, then there's no worries, right? There's no problem.
I'm going to ask you then the trickier question. We know that China has a vested interest in a cover-up. We also know that potentially the WHO has a vested interest in the cover-up. Why else would you send Peter Daszak there, right? Is there now a vested interest in a cover-up amongst top virologists in America? Are they now trapped? It's like Watergate. Every time you've denied it, you've made yourself a liar. So now, as soon as you admit the truth, everything you said for the past many months was a lie. So you've now entrapped yourself. Are you now stuck in a quagmire? And so you're just lying more to make up for smaller lies earlier have become bigger lies now?
Yes, it is definitely a quagmire. But I will say that it's not the medical fraternity in America or the world. If this really was a sinister plan, it's a handful of people that knew about it and sort of manifested and executed it. I wouldn't, because I have
received by Anthony Fauci in early February 2020, indicating that this was from other respected scientists, that this was engineered. Should he have publicly announced that I have been informed, because I can't do the research myself, but I've been informed by someone who's a credible scientist, because he's now then taking Peter Daszak's word for it over another scientist's word for it. And he's the authority that makes this call. Should he have presented both opinions to all of us?
Yeah.
Preeti.
Yeah. Funding for research is supposed to be made transparent. And, if some of these papers are public, people can actually see. And I suppose people have. That's why this story sort of broke in the first place. But yes, I think he sort of constantly dodged the subject. And then at some point last year, it's sort of, he couldn't lie that he didn't give the funding. It was revealed in some indirect way that yes, potentially his company might have funded it. And,
So this is what happens
he has a responsibility, I think, to the people of America to be very upfront and honest about
figured
it.
out who assassinated JFK. So there are certain things that have so many vested interests in a cover-up that the truth never comes out. Professor Nalapat, is there a risk now that is not only the Chinese vested interest, it's not only Tedros in the WHO and Peter Daszak and Anthony Fauci, but there are so many people who've muddled through so many lies and covered up now that there is an endemic. The Democratic Party now has a vested interest in not taking action against Anthony Fauci. How do you tear down the man that you yourself built up? Is there a vested interest, sir?
Rishabh, the Democratic Party is negative on China far more than the Republican Party, frankly. Not only Daszak, but other people knew that the PLA, about 70% of the research in that laboratory went straight to the PLA and was done in close cooperation with them. And what is the PLA interested in? They're not, they don't pretend to be non-violent ahimsa activists. They are looking at bioweapons. I'm not using the word, they're using it bioweapons. So 70% of that work, including the money that was sent by Fauci through Daszak, went to the PLA. And frankly, if they did not know it, it is probably because they did not know English. I presume they know English. I want to just end, Rishabh, by saying, I got this information, if you remember, not only in Sunday Guardian, but occasionally on some shows. I was casting a little bit of doubt on this natural theory. Friends in the United States and Japan extensively briefed me that this theory is complete bunker. Then I asked them, what's wrong with you guys? Why are you silent? They said, if we speak out, Fauci and his gang will destroy us, will destroy our reputations, will destroy our careers.
So
we cannot dare to speak out.
So let me qualify. In academic circles, everything depends upon funding. Okay? And once you control a large amount of that funding, doesn't make a difference if you're Bill Gates, okay, or you're Anthony Fauci. Once you control a large amount of that funding, everybody's lives and careers and tenures, which are a huge thing in America, having a tenureship, get impacted. Dr. Venkatesh Rao, has enough come out now that Anthony Fauci was aware of very serious concerns about a genetically engineered virus in February last year, and an investigation into the funding that the Americans have done now needs to happen, because the probe into what happened in China, you and I both know, is never going to happen.
Yes, Rishabh, I have been saying it from a long time. There is no need to go to Wuhan because they're not going to let you do anything there. And their own self-proclamations, that is articles published by the Wuhan Institute people over the last few years, has got everything you need to know, including the acknowledgement of who funded them. And Fauci's involvement is very obvious because even the Delhi scientists who were quietened down by them way back in January, they had a phone call from Fauci. So it is not that Fauci didn't know what was going on. He has, like Ambassador Deepak Vohra has said, outsourced it to China because it was banned in US. And he was ensuring that there is no direct linkage between the agency he runs with the Chinese.
Yes,
so it was plausible deniability. So he funded it through Daszak. And you have got images in publications by Daszak's group where you can see him in the cave, you can see him in Wuhan Institute, you can see him all over the place. And don't tell me they didn't know about it. So this is all obvious. Funding was going on. Funding was
So this
acknowledged.
is now a 3 million murder mystery. Okay.
No, there's no mystery. It has been suppressed. A lot of smoke screen has been put up. It is all clear now.
And I accept it. It could be through error of commission or error of admission. Sometimes you just get trapped in your own lie.
It is like getting into a...
By the time you realize you're wrong, you've lied so much already that you are trapped. Ambassador Deepak Vohra,
I fully agree with you.
If and when an investigation happens, now one has been ordered by the US president, we are incidentally not investigating it on our own terms. But we have recently at the foreign ministry level supported an independent investigation to what's happened in Wuhan, or the origin theory. Can the American system stomach the truth that potentially American taxpayer dollars funded the creation of COVID-2? Can the system stomach it?
I'm not sure if Ms. Avala will agree with me, but the American ability to self-correct is amazing. The ability of the American people to let the truth come out, to digest and absorb it, is quite remarkable. And that is what makes America absolutely the number one country in the world. So I just want to conclude very briefly. When push comes to shove, and you see the virtual image behind me is now the two fists clashing, what's going to happen? The Chinese will probably turn around and say, well, why did you fund it in China? You sent the risk to us rather than keep it on your territory. And the Americans will say, why did you let the wretched thing escape? It's all your fault. Let me just put it to you. So as a Buddhist, and I take this to a philosophical plane, may I remind you of the Gautama's wise saying, 3 things cannot be hidden for long: the sun, the moon, and the truth.
Well,
Satyameva Jayate.
it's a tough conversation to have. The reason it's a tough conversation to have is because, like all of you watching this broadcast, I'm sure in India and other parts of the world, and like me, who were following developments of the COVID crisis in America, for us, Anthony Fauci is a household name, not just in America, all over the world. And we were relying on him for calm sense of logic on testing and this and that, on which things he was absolutely right. But just because he was right on all those things, and he was talking sense on all those things, to his credit, doesn't necessarily mean that he was right on this one thing and that he wasn't covering it up. And we'll also have to fess up to this reality that a person who was a short time ago a hero, okay? There's a wrestler called Sushil Kumar who just been arrested for murder. He was a hero a few months ago, and today he's in prison as a murder suspect. O.J. Simpson was a hero to many people, and then look what happened. So there are people who sometimes we think are heroes, but when you dig a little bit deeper, some flaws emerge. Now, flaws are fine, but a cover up at this scale, and let us not underestimate what could potentially have happened, or the fact that funding did go to the Wuhan Virology Institute, that Peter Daszak was involved in gain-of-function research, and there is something dodgy when you send the same Peter Daszak to conduct the investigation into what was a crisis that he himself created. There's something dodgy that these emails were written a year and a half ago, and we're finding about them now. Something dodgy is going on. And that dodginess is potentially killed 3 million people. This is a genocide investigation. It needs to be taken as seriously. There are no holy cows here.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.